have enjoyed done rallying over 25 years. Now I retired in 2010. I become a mwalimu, an instructor, and I'm training students in. I've got students in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi, and I teach for free. I've got over 60 students in Kenya who are rallying. Among the leading, I'm very proud because before it was Sylvia King and Taith, and there was no African lady, but now you've got Lynette Uko, Tuta Myonki, Ellen Shiri. These are all my students. They have really learned from where I started teaching, and currently I'm off because of COVID. We've just prayed COVID dies out, and in the Safari Rally itself, I've got over 500 students who are marshalling. They're all my students. The Chief Safety Officer in the Safari, Norris Ngalo, is my student. We should be proud of having got the Safari back after 19 years, and we should thank President Uhuru Kenyatta, CS Amina Mohamed. They have put lots and lots of work, and it couldn't have been done without the serious efforts of people like Phineas Kimathi, Jim Kamura. There is a team there, but Phineas has put lots of work there. Phineas is the CEO of the Safari Rally, and with President Uhuru Kenyatta, CS, they've been combining efforts, and when the president of a country is dealing with the president of FIA, that has got lots of force. No other country in the world is known for that. The president of FIA may go to a country, is not even greeted by any of the leaders there, but here President Uhuru Kenyatta makes an effort to invite Jim Todd to his State House and all that. It shows how serious the government is. As Kenyans, we should be proud because it promotes our country, it promotes tourism, hotel bookings are full, tourism, people come and see wildlife and all that. The economy also improves a lot, it helps the government. And there is all good reason for the government to get involved, knowing that this is where we are also going to gain. This is not just for the rally drivers or navigators or marshals or Abdul Sidi to gain directly. It is for the entire country.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Bye.
Okay.
Tiff.
What is it, Eric?
Is that Tiff?
At least find out who Glenn is working with.
Ndamsaka alafu nitakushow.
Kama unataka uzuri, usichukue pesa ya huyo mama. Utaenda jela.
Unataka kumwaga huka.
What do you think is going to happen once you solve your father's mystery?
Let's wait and see.
If I go down for anything whatsoever, you better believe I'm taking Joel and Chris with me.
I can't take this anymore. I'm done.
Jacky, mimi naona tuishie. Wewe zidi.
So this is your game plan?
Next on.
Come on, buddies. Give me a high five. It's great to be back.
This is the next generation.
Na balance ball na masomo. Ninaga shule Monday to Friday. Mpende talents zenyu. Yeah, wazazi msapoti watoto.
Yeah, we're going to arrange flowers in a vase.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Hey, come with me.
Really is a very nice hotel.
Make yourself at home.
There are two men trying to break down the door.
You were part of the plan.
This is exactly why she chose him, to distract us.
I am sorry I got you involved in all this.
Why are you involved? You wish to report a murder.
Attempted murder.
That's not so serious.
Not when you downgraded from murder, but when you upgraded from room service, it's quite serious.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Naongelea mimi na jamaa yupi ambaye mmeonana naye. Umesahau venye ulinifukuza kwenu wewe? Umesahau uliponifukuza kama
Leo nakuja hapa kwetu unaniambia jamaa. Iwe ni jamaa iwe ya kuhusu nini wewe?
Yaani wewe mtu wa gavana mzima aishi kwenye nyumba kama hii. I didn't expect this.
Is uncertain. Even if your regular income has been affected, you can still talk to your insurance service provider and convert your policy to a paid-up policy. You will not be required to pay further premiums, and your insurer will still be liable for the benefits payable under this option. Now you know. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured. This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
You almost gave me a heart attack. Why are you talking? You're confusing us.
Confusing you? How?
I thought I was out of place. Why don't you go back to your bossy mother and ask her for your forgiveness? And pray very hard that she welcome you back. Because clearly you are not meant for this class.
Come on, is this a joke?
Of course it is not a joke.
You haven't even written your name. Can you go and wait for me in the office?
Mr. Tisha, I have been here for so long, so if you don't mind, I have a pressing matter I need to handle.
How about I give you all a pressing issue?
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353. Alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
This is Channel 1 Lunchtime News. I trust you're having a lovely Friday so far. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up for you. My name is Jacky Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lucy Maure. Now, to kick us off, residents of Bumayenga village in Funyula constituency have called for tightening of security around Lake Victoria following the killing of a fisherman allegedly by Ugandan police. The family of the deceased say the king was shot dead while fishing in the lake.
Following the incident that led to the killing of Victor Nasonga, a 22-year-old from Bumanyenga village in Funyula constituency, residents led by Funyula MP Wilberforce Mudenyo have called on the government to intervene and tighten security at Lake Victoria through the use of coast guards.
Na coast guards ambao waliletwa huku tulipopitisha Coast Guard Act katika bunge. Kwa hivyo tunajua hawana vifaa vya kutosha. Ni jambo ambalo tutaenda mbele, tuombe serikali iongezee hao watu wa Coast Guard wengi ambao wanaweza patrol kuanzia Port Victoria mpaka huku kwetu.
The legislators stated that if nothing is done in good time, they would be forced to use other means to protect themselves.
Afrika Mashariki inafaa tuwe na uhusiano mwema kwa sababu sisi ni jamii moja. Kwa serikali ya Kenya na serikali ya Uganda ifanye bidii hakikishe kuwa ametatua hizi shida. Na wasipotatua, wakiendelea kuacha wavuvi wetu waumie, washike, wapigwe, sisi kama wa Kenya pia tutachukua hatua zetu.
Mother Naomi Nafula stated that the government should step in to ensure justice for her son.
Na serikali naomba unisaidie kwa sababu hii imeshafanyika.
Naomba serikali ya Kenya itusaidie kwa sababu hatujui, wavuvi ni watoto wadogo, wajui vile mpaka iko, kwa sababu hawana post pale wenye wameandika huku ni Uganda na huku ni Kenya.
Communities living along the ISIOLO-Garissa County border have been urged to work together in ending tribal conflict in the region. The region has recorded a rise in cases of interclan clashes over the last few months, leading to loss of lives and property. A meeting convened to chart a peaceful course failed to achieve its intended objectives after leaders drawn from Garissa allegedly skipped the meeting.
Long-lasting peace along the ISIOLO-Garissa border suffered a setback after leaders from Garissa allegedly failed to honor an invitation to a consultative meeting. The meeting, which was however attended by the Garissa security team, did however resolve that there is need to foster cohesion among residents living in the restive region.
Mimi naomba hitu moja tu. Vijana wetu ambao wanastahili kuwa na sisi hapa waelezwe ya kwamba vita haina mshindi. Ya pili, tuone vile tutaweza kushugumza kwa sababu hakuna mtu atajitoshelesha kila rasilimali. Na kila rasilimali kwa maji na kila rasilimali kwa pastures. Leo kutanyesha kwenu na kesho kutanyesha mahali nyingine. Je, mtahitaji malisho wakati kuna kiangazi kwenu? Mtahitaji? Tafadhali tuishi kwa umoja. Tafadhali we share resources kwa sababu ni leo tu Mungu ametupea nafasi. Kesho hujui.
Interclan clashes has intensified over the last few years, leading to loss of lives and destruction of property.
Mimi nashangaa sana kuona kwamba sisi tunauana, watu ambao wako namna hiyo tunakuwa kila wakati tunauana. Hii ardhi hii watu wetu tumekuwa tumeishi na wao kwa muda mrefu sana. Si kitu ya leo, lakini katika hiyo jambo lolote kila wakati kinatokea kitu inaitwa kifo. Mtu anakufa kila wakati. Wale tumeua inatosha. Wale tumeua. Upande wa Borana waliua, upande wa jirani zetu wameua, hiyo inatosha.
But as leaders trade accusations, communities have been challenged to look beyond their tribal differences and learn to foster peaceful coexistence for the benefit of both sides.
Kuanzia leo, kama hujui jinsi ya kuishi na mtaita kama mimi, anza kujipanga kuishi na mimi kwa sababu Kenya hii ni yangu na tutabanana hapa. Kama hujui kuishi na Mborana, kuanzia sasa anza kupanga jinsi utakavyotafuta mwafaka wa kuishi na yeye kwa sababu tuko Kenya hii pamoja. Kama hujui kuishi na Msomali, kuanzia dakika hii anza kujipanga vile utaishi na yeye kwa sababu tuko Kenya moja.
The perennial conflict is said to be fueled by stretched posture, mistrust among leaders, and revenge. Jacqueline Masharia for Channel 1 News.
Narok County has launched its first ever child witness protection box in court for the purpose of shielding minors when giving personal testimonies in court. Presiding over the event, High Court Judges Francis Gikonyo and Mohammed Kulo reiterated the importance of handling children's cases in private.
Speaking at the launch was Justice Francis Gikonyo, who stated that every child has a constitutional right of being protected when giving a testimony, and called on lawyers, children officers, police officers, and all members of the public to protect children when addressing their issues.
Tumepatiwa leo hii sanduku ambao imeundwa kwa teknolojia ya kisasa ili mtoto anapotoa ushahidi wake akiketi pale anatoa ile ushahidi bila uoga. Mshtakiwa ama mshukiwa anaanza kuona yule mtoto ndani, lakini yule mtoto hataanza kumuona yule, ndio aweze kutoa ile ushahidi yake kwa njia iliyo sawa bila kustuka ama uoga wowote kwamba yule ambaye alimdhulumu ataanza kutoka hapa na kaenda kumdhulumu yeye baadaye.
Also in attendance at the launch was Narok lawyer Martin Kamwaro and area children's officer Pilot Kaemba.
Ikiwa namna hivi sasa tuna uhakika ya kwamba watoto watahisi vizuri wakiwa hapo ndani na wanaongea, na prosecution process itaendelea vizuri bila wasiwasi yoyote kwa upande wetu kama idara ya watoto, ya kwamba watoto pengine wako na wasiwasi.
Masinjoki for Channel 1 News.
On matters held, Laikipia County Government has confirmed laxity on the part of medical staff is to blame for the death of a patient in NANYUKI Teaching and Referral Hospital. Held CEC Rose Maitai says the two laboratory technicians have since been interdicted for absconding duty in favor of organizing a birthday party for their colleague, thus triggering the death of the patient.
The NANYUKI Referral Hospital has been on the spotlight following the death of a patient who was left unattended to at the emergency unit as she awaited her laboratory test results that took too long. The delay occasioned by the laboratory technicians who were organizing a surprise birthday party for their colleague, leading to the death of the patient, 58-year-old Halima Hassan.
By the time a patient comes directly to an emergency department, that tells you that patient was, of course, quite unwell. The emergency department did what they were supposed to do, which is basically to stabilize the patient. And after she was stabilized, she was sent to the Department of Laboratory for test.
The Laikipia Department of Health acknowledging the negligence by the members of staff at the hospital.
The preliminary findings show that there was a bit of delay, unnecessary and uncalled for delay in that department. Out of that, really, we are convinced that is partly what contributed to the passing away of this lady.
Laikipia Health CEC Rose Maitai saying that action has since been taken against the two staffers following investigations.
The investigations indicated that two of our staff really were a bit, there was a bit of laxity and there was a bit of rudeness to the patients, and we have interdicted them.
Nancy Okwari, Channel 1 News.
Away from that, Kali artisans have welcomed the directive on technical competence-based certification. President Uhuru Kenyatta issued the directive on Madaraka Day, requiring Kenya National Qualifications Authority to fast-track the internalization of the policy framework for comprehensive recognition of prior learning.
Embu County artisans say they have in the past been overlooked in the market despite their technical skills, while their certified counterparts were awarded contract tenders and other opportunities. They said they are now hopeful that the policy will enable fair competition.
Tukiangalia hapa, sisi tunafanya kazi ya practicals. Na wale watu wengi sana wale wanakuanga na certificates, hata anafanya kazi ya theory. Wakiingia hapa pengine uambie wafanye kitu fulani watafanya.
Tuletoa hizo certificates. Penyani mtu anaweza pata chance ya kwenda kuiza kazi huko nje kwa kampuni za serikali.
Kenyans who had acquired hands-on skills without formal training will now be able to acquire higher academic levels. The policy seeks to address inequity in tendering contracts and expand opportunities for the Juakali artisans and craftsmen to participate more meaningfully in Kenya's economy.
In other news, the Orange Democratic Movement has distanced itself from an ongoing push for the ouster of Vihiga County Governor Wilbur Otichilo. Vihiga County ODM Chairman Zebedee Osabwa says the party has not initiated any disciplinary action against the governor and that any push for his ouster is a personal initiative.
ODM activists behind the push to impeach Vihiga governor have been warned against dragging the party into the agenda. Vihiga County ODM Chairman Zebedee Osabwa says the group has no blessings of the party.
Our attention has also been drawn to some idlers, led one of Mr. Simeha, who has been holding clandestine meetings in parts of Vihiga County with the aim of undermining the leadership of our governor, ISIOLO.
A section of ODM party supporters recently embarked on a signature collection drive to drum up support for the impeachment of Governor ISIOLO.
He has entitled the process of collecting signature to dissolve the county government.
The activists have accused the governor of gross misconduct in failing to effectively execute his mandate.
And on that note, we take a short break. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Sasa hii ng'ombe ni yako. Asante. Hii ng'ombe itatoa maziwa mengi kabisa. Sasa shida ya school fees imeisha. Jen, chukua hii. Hebu nikuulize, hii maneno nasikia ya bima ya elimu inaweza kuwa namna gani mtu anachukua? Process ya kuchukua insurance cover yote ni rahisi. Hata niko na cover ya gari yangu. Kwanza unajaza proposal form kama hii na uijaze wewe mwenyewe. Na kama haujui kusoma, uijaze na mtu unayemwamini. Hakikisha ile majibu umepatiana ni sahihi na ni ya kweli. Pia thibitisha insurance cover imeangalia maslahi yako. Na usiwahi sign proposal form ambayo haijaandikwa kitu chochote. Pia ukumbuke kujitolea photocopy yako. Sasa wacha nianze hiyo process. By the way, ukisubmit hiyo proposal form, uhakikishe umepatiwa policy document. Uisome na uielewe. Hiyo ndio thibitisho ya kuwa una bima. Asante sana.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na IRA.
Sauti ya Kenya.
Juu milimani na hata mabondeni, Radio Taifa inatamba kutamba. Sasa unaweza kupokea matangazo ya Radio Taifa loud and clear popote ulipo Western Kenya.
Radio Taifa usisahau unaweza ukatupata kupitia
ukiwa Busia, Siaya, Vihiga, Mumias, Yala na maeneo yaliyoko karibu. Radio Taifa inapatikana kwenye 104.5 FM, na ukiwa Bungoma, Kakamega, Kiminini, Kipkaren na viunga vyake, pata vipindi na burudani safi kupitia 92.3 FM. Radio Taifa, sauti ya Mkenya.
Welcome back. Now to proceed, residents of Kagongo village in Kiambu County are accusing area leaders of starving them of development. The locals who commissioned a water project in the area say they have remained forgotten and have to that effect taken up the implementation of development projects in their locality.
Kangogo village, Kiamba constituency in Kiambu County. This group of people has converged for a noble cause. They are commissioning the village's new water piping system. Through the local self-help group initiative, each home in the area will now ensure residents have easy access to clean water. According to the residents, water scarcity has been a challenge for a long period, this even as they lauded the initiative, saying it will go a long way in addressing their plight.
areas ambazo hazina maji, na ukiangalia proximity yetu na Nairobi ni karibu sana. Kwa hivyo shida mingi ambazo tuko nazo hatufai kuwa nazo katika hii kijiji letu la Kiambaa. Kwa hivyo tunaona kuna gap. Tumekuwa hatuna technical school, ndio the only constituency ambao haina technical school. Unapata ya kwamba shule zetu venye zilijengwa 1963 mpaka wa leo watoto wanabeba maji wakienda mashule.
The residents adding that they use water from the wells or from nearby rivers, which at times pose a health risk due to use of contaminated water. At the same time, the residents accused area leaders of neglecting the area, forcing the residents to opt for other means.
Hakuna kiongozi ambaye amekuja na ameweza kujenga hiyo siwa, kwa sababu ukiangalia kama Ruaka, ile shida itakuwa hapo kubwa sana ni siwa. Hawana siwa, unakuta siwa imechimbwa hapa, borehole imechimbwa hapa, na at one point maji na siwa itakuja kuchanganya huko na cholera, hapo ndio italipuka.
We will do ama tutafanya ambalo tunafaa kufanya. Kama ni kwenda kuongelea na county government, tuambie tuna hii shida, tuna huu mradi wa maji kwa hii area. Kama ni kuongea na wao tuwasikize, tuambie hawa watu wana shida, watusaidie jinsi ambavyo maji yatafika, tutafanya hivyo. Maana hilo ni jukumu la kila kiongozi.
Moving on, a dispute has erupted over the ownership of a 67-acre parcel of land in Ngelani village of Machakos County. A group of youth descended on the said piece of land, flattening buildings and everything else on their path. A family which also claims ownership of the land says some powerful individuals are using the police to dispose them of the property, which they claim has been in the family for generations.
Charles Monyao says his family was forced to spend the night in the cold after hired youth destroyed their houses over the ongoing land dispute. Monyao say they settled on the land in 1965 after acquiring it in 1963 and has all documents to prove ownership.
Ndio walikupika hiki shanga, askari wakaja. Na askari walituambia hata hii leo itapomolewa. Leo siku hii tuambia tutoe vitu ipomolewa. Haya, kabla wajatoka walituambia tupomoe na mikono yetu, tukakataa. Wakatuambia hata tukikataa usiku hii watakuja wapomoe. Hata yule mlikuta hapa alituambia namna hiyo, hii nyumba watakuja pomoe usiku.
The 67-acre land had been fenced by an unknown individual using strong arms barely a month ago. Police were forced to intervene in an ensuing clash between locals and a group of men which had been hired to evict the family.
Ilikuwa saa 11 asubuhi kabla hatujaamuka. Watu wametumwa, sijui wametumwa na nani. Wakaja wakabomoa manyumba na misururu, nyundo. Nyumba zote ziko chini, wametuharibia vitu. Hatuna pa kwenda. Sasa tunataabika. Hatujui ni akina nani hawa. Wametufukuza nyumbani tangu 2 months. Wametushtua kutushika si wa mama.
The River Sub-County Police Commander Anderson Jacky denied that police were being used to advance partisan interest in the land tussle. The family, however, questioned why their houses were demolished despite an active litigation at the Machakos High Court.
Kijana wangu alikuja kukuamusha. Akasema, mama, mtoki nje kumeharibika, askari wanakuja. Na kutoka vile tutoka nje tukapata wamesimama kweli. Wakaanza wakanisalamia mzuri, wakaenda wanaongea. Wamesimama hivi na bunduki. Na sisi tukastuka ni nini? Wakaenda kwa kijana wangu, hata wako wanaongea, wakasema wapi mwenye hapa? Wakasema hayuko. Hata vile wanilienda, walianza hiyo kazi ya kupomoa, mimi nilitoroka, sikukua. Waliniambia nitoroke kwa maana wanasema watanishika.
For Channel 1 News, Amamboi Otiende.
Now, let's talk business. A steel maker, Devki, has withdrawn from a deal to acquire Mumia's sugar company. Devki says the decision has been informed by the ongoing politics around the process. Devki was supposed to invest 4 billion shillings in the next 4 years to modernize the operations of the struggling miller. Mumia's sugar company was placed under receivership by Kenya Commercial Bank in September 2019 to protect its assets and maintain its operations. DevKi Chair Narendra Guru has said the company will engage key stakeholders to chart the way forward. Under the deal, DevKi was expected to manage the loss-making sugar miller for 20 years before handing over the company to the receivership managers. Mumia's Sugar owes suppliers, farmers and creditors more than 5 billion shillings. The collapse of the sugar miller is blamed on mismanagement by former managers. DevKi was planning to start operations later this month. Before it was placed under receivership, Mumia's was the largest sugar company in the country, controlling more than 35% of Kenya's domestic sugar market. Now, experts are calling on the country's financial regulatory bodies to consider incorporating cryptocurrencies in the market as tradable financial instruments in order to allow users to raise capital in public and private markets. Public policy analyst Stephen Mokasi says bringing crypto within the frameworks of securities will help grow Kenya's fintech industry and promote innovation in the sector.
Kenya is one of the leading African countries among 10 countries globally in terms of cryptocurrency holdings and blockchain-related transactions. As of January 2018, Kenya's Bitcoin holdings represented over 2% of the gross domestic product. However, in December 2015, the Central Bank of Kenya issued a public statement indicating that virtual currencies such as Bitcoin are not legal tender in the country, and therefore no protection exists in the event that the platform that holds a virtual currency falls.
Caution, caution, caution. Study a lot about it. Do take the time. Most of the bigger players in cryptocurrency space have a lot of people under their who are giving them advice. If you're just going to be doing it like by the way, I don't think cryptocurrency trading can be called a side hustle.
In 2018, the country, in its efforts to remain at par with emerging technological economies, came up with a distributed ledger technology and artificial intelligence task force to help develop a roadmap for emerging technologies that will define the evolving fourth industrial revolution. In its report, the task force recommended that there be a draft of a digital asset framework that will enable Kenyan citizens to raise funds through initial coin offerings, as well as create a digital locker for every citizen to securely store official documents, use blockchain to track agricultural produce from end to end, as well as distribute farming subsidies through a blockchain control agri-token, introduce blockchain technology to enable customers to trace the supply chain of medication, develop a health token incentive to reward citizens who maintain a healthy lifestyle, as well as use blockchain supply chain networks to flag and report counterfeit goods.
You'd have to be very adept at analyzing what current circumstances are. If you have a lot of money and you feel like you'd find a safer haven of storing your resources in your phone as opposed to keeping it in a bank, that's an option you can go for.
With this in mind, experts are saying allowing initial coin offerings as an entry point for cryptocurrency will help deepen the financial markets in Kenya.
The preference, as has been touted before, is that if Kenyans were to look at crypto, probably look at it more from the securitization standpoint rather than at the point of utilizing it as a currency, because acceptability is still very low in the world.
On its part, the Capital Markets Authority on February 21st, 2018 issued a cautionary note warning investors from taking part in initial coin offerings, indicating that ICOs were not yet approved.
It's an interesting space. I think the one thing that happens with crypto for me and what I would tell any Kenyan is trade on the edge of caution. Be cautious, cautious, cautious. Because cryptos have still yet to be embraced from a regulatory standpoint by both Kenya and a lot of other jurisdictions in the world.
Currently, the top 2021 cryptocurrencies in the world are Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cosmos, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Compound, Polkadot. Market watchers are keeping an eye on Chinese and American financial regulators for possible signs of embracing cryptocurrencies. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
Tension is high in the tea growing zones in Kisii County over the management of tea companies. Tea farmers are accusing the Kenya Tea Development Agency of dragging its feet in handing over the management of tea factories who were elected 2 months ago. Now our reporter Grace Mweni has the details.
Trouble has been brewing in parts of tea growing zones in Kisii County. Tea farmers are accusing the Kenya Tea Development Agency causing confusion by sowing division among farmers.
Kitu ya kwanza ile inafanya sisi kama wakulima na viongozi wa eneo hii tunataka watu wetu watoke kwa umasikini. Wamenyanyaswa for long.
KTDA is citing an ongoing case at the High Court in Nairobi, which is expected to rule on the legality of the elections that were held in April this year.
Wakulima wamekuwa wakilia, wamelia siku nyingi sana. Wanataka wasaidiwe. Lakini hawajakuja. Hao kazi yao ni kuwaibia kutoka kwa buying centers, kuendelea mpaka kwa factory, mpaka mahali wanauza chai huko Mombasa.
Representatives Peter Mumanyi and Zakari Motari has said the farmers will take charge of tea factories for sound management of their cash crop and proceeds decrying systematic exploitation of the farmers.
We really don't know what is happening in this factory because the management are very wishy, always giving excuses, not meeting us. And you know, when we come to a board meeting like this and we don't have the unit manager who is the overall manager here, briefing us what is going on, then we get it very difficult.
The new team is urging farmers to support the government's efforts to streamline the industry. Elsewhere, Kisii County has started registering coffee farmers biometrically to eliminate malpractices in the coffee industry. Speaking during the launch of biometric system registration of farmers on Wednesday at Nyamache Coffee Farmers Society, Executive Member for Agriculture Esman Onsarigo said that farmers' details will be captured at the factory level and headquarters in Kisii town.
We want to know how many farmers do we have like in Kisii County? Who are the coffee farmers? We also want to know where are they located? What is the number of trees they have? How many kilos are they able to produce?
Robert Kipngetich, a biometric system consultant at Agmon International Farm, urged coffee farmers in the region to turn up in large numbers with identity cards or Huduma number cards for registration.
We as a consultant, in terms of the security breaches, we have done all the necessary, we have installed all the necessary software needed. We believe that the data is safe, and since the new data commission is in place, we believe also new regulation also is going to come up, which is also going to help us.
U.S. President Joe Biden is set to ban Americans from investing in dozens of Chinese tech and defense firms with alleged military ties. The executive order will come into effect on 2nd August, affecting 59 firms, including communications giant Huawei. China has hit back at the U.S., accusing Washington of disrupting global trade order. Now, here are the details of this and other stories in our international business roundup.
Under the new order, U.S. investors will be banned from buying or selling publicly traded securities for other companies, including the China General Nuclear Power Corporation, China Mobile Limited and Costa Group. It expands the previous list from 31 firms to include surveillance companies. The list of firms will be updated on a rolling basis. Even before the official announcement, China is expected to hit back at Washington with similar measures as the two global superpowers engage in a tit-for-tat diplomatic and trade tiff. The China-US relationship is crucial to both sides and the wider world, with Beijing repeatedly calling on the new administration in Washington to improve relations which collapsed under the predecessor Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the travel and tourism industry has hit back in England following the announcement of tighter rules on foreign holidays. No more countries will be added to the green list, and Portugal will be relegated to amber from next Tuesday. England's government said Portugal had seen a doubling of infection rates since the previous travel review. Labour said moving Portugal from green to amber on the UK's foreign travel system was not the answer and called for the amber list to be scrapped altogether. The government has been accused of causing chaos with the mishandling of travel restrictions at the border by the Labour's Shadow Home Secretary, Nick Thomas Simmons. Finally, United Airlines and a top aviation union on Thursday agreed upon a scheme for voluntary vaccination and record-keeping of the airline's flight attendants as Americans gear up for a summer or vacation flights. The Association of Flight Attendants said that it expects some countries to make it mandatory for flight crews to be vaccinated and that maintaining vaccination records would allow United Airlines to meet such requirements efficiently. The union further said that the voluntary program, which recognizes those who have already taken the jab, does not require flight attendants to be vaccinated. However, flight attendants who chose to take the vaccines through this voluntary program will receive up to 3 additional vacation days. Last month, United Airlines had reached a deal with its pilots union that does not make the vaccine mandatory, but provides extra pay to those who receive it. The agreement also restricted unvaccinated pilots from working on trips to places that require vaccinations.
Health officers at the HOMA County Referral Hospital have expressed concern over what they term as depleting oxygen supply amid rising cases of COVID-19 in Nyanza region. Acting Chief Executive Officer at the hospital, Peter Ogola, says the hospital is currently overstretched with 32 patients in the high dependency unit, 8 of whom are on a high-flow oxygen treatment.
According to the WHO, oxygen therapy is recommended for all severe and critical COVID-19 patients. For this reason, COVID-19 treatment healthcare facilities should have a functioning oxygen system. But at the Homa Bay County Referral Hospital, the management says the oxygen supply is under a strain. The hospital is now forced to rely on neighboring counties.
As you can see, we're already overstretched. At the moment, we have 32 patients in HDU. Yes, with 8 out of those on high flow oxygen, pure oxygen. So the demand on our little resources is quite great. And what is being strained the most is oxygen supply. In fact, we are currently using all those 3 options. One is Hewatele. Hewatele's capacity, because of the upsurge in Nyanza, to fulfill all those orders has gone down. So whatever we get from Hewatele will be supplemented by BOC. BOC is giving us cylinders. In fact, they have given us 20. Okay? And then the third one is Nyamira County Referral Hospital, which luckily for us is able to fill both BOC and Hewatele cylinders.
Nyanza region has been on the radar of the Ministry of Health following a spike in COVID-19 cases, with Kisumu County topping the charts of cases of the coronavirus. Other counties in Nyanza that are hard hit include Siaya and Migori.
West Pokot is among regions in Kenya that still have a low uptake of modern family planning methods, although there is an improvement compared to 2013. This is according to a survey released by Performance Monitoring for Action. The organization is calling for more dispensation of information on contraception among women visiting hospitals in the county to aid in making informed decisions on the choice of contraception to use.
The survey that was conducted by Performance Monitoring for Action between September and December 2020 found that compared to 2013, when the use of modern contraceptives in West Pokot stood at 13%, there was an increase of uptake to 26%. The research was conducted among females aged between 14 to 49 years, both in urban and rural parts of the county. Mary Thiongo, a senior technical advisor at Performance Monitoring for Action, calling on the county government to focus on providing information to women in the county on family planning and its importance.
Moving forward, they will be implementing targeted
interventions such that they can be able to tailor around the gaps and make sure that they continue improving the health indicators in the county.
Sababu our illiteracy level kwa West Pokot iko chini sana. Yeah? Majority of our people, 3/4 hawajaenda shule. How are they going to be informed about child spacing or family planning? Because walisaliwa tu, walikuwa tu bila hii maneno. Kuambiwa mpaka waelewe, it takes time.
The CEC in charge of health, Christine Apokerang, saying that the data was key in boosting the region's implementation of the targeted interventions.
Tunataka pia family planning isikie vijana wetu ambao wako colleges, about 18 and above, those are adults. So kama wanaweza panga, kwa sababu unaona wengi wanasema I'm not married, why should I go for family planning? Hawa ndio unapata tena wanapata watoto ambao hawajapangia.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
And in the sports arena, Spain and Portugal will begin their preparations for their respective Euro 2020 campaigns when they lock horns in an international friendly on Friday night. Meanwhile, a spirited Greece fought back to hold top-ranked Belgium to a 1-1 draw in their friendly international in Brussels on Thursday as Georgios Travala's second-half goal cancelled out an early strike for their host from Thorgan Hazard.
Belgium were missing several regulars like the Bout Courtois, Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, but they were still hoping to send out a message of intent ahead of next week's kickoff of the European Championship. But Greece, who did not qualify for the tournament, proved dogged opponents, with little regard for the host status at the top of the FIFA rankings in a feisty clash behind closed doors at the King Baudium Stadium. Thorgan Hazard put Belgium ahead after 20 minutes, but Zavelas leveled the score midway through the second half.
By Masouras, good diving header, hits the post, and it is shoveled in for a Greek equaliser by Georgios Zavelas.
Meanwhile, Spain and Portugal will begin their preparation for their respective Euro 2020 campaigns when they lock horns in an international friendly on Friday night. La Roja will take on Sweden in their first European Championship opener on June 14th, while Portugal are preparing for the start of the tournament, which sees them face Hungary on June 15th. In another match set for today, Italy will take on Czech Republic. Daniel Mwendwa for Channel 1 Sports.